Okay, so we're inside the new Ranger Raptor, and we will do a short drive and show you our impressions of the car. So I've owned this car for about 2 weeks now. I use it almost every day to fetch my kids, doing grocery shopping, run the errands and all that. I have to say I really like the suspension of this new generation Ranger Raptor. I thought that the old generation suspension with the fork shocks was already very good, but once I've driven this for the last 2 weeks, I think this is another level up from the last generation. It's pretty amazing. It caters for both worlds. It feels very sporty at the same time as comfortable. It's amazing how they tuned this so well. There's actually a lot of road feel for this suspension. You can feel all the imperfection and bumps on the road. So that's a good trait for a sports car, right? But at the same time, it's still very comfortable. So if you ride over larger bumps and larger imperfections, it doesn't jar you around and roll around as well. And also because of the front double wishbone suspension, it actually handles really well. So when you're turning into a corner, compared to the last generation, the new generation, it doesn't roll as much, and it's more composed through a corner, no matter the speed actually. It's amazing how composed this car can be. And right now we are not on a perfect road, but we still feel very, very comfortable, right?
Yeah, it rides through the bumps really well, but you can still feel that there are bumps there. So it gives you a lot of feedback, a lot of information.
Yep.
But if you blindfolded me and put me into this car, I would not be able to tell you that this is a ute, because it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels more like a sports sedan, for example, because you can tell that it actually can handle corners. It can actually go around corners. It doesn't roll like a normal SUV or a ute. So it's a really interesting experience actually, because you're really high up, but you kind of feel like you can still drive quite fast and it's quite stable.
Yeah, and I believe the spring rate is firmer for this generation compared to the last one. But again, as I said, still feel very comfortable. So that's really good. One other thing is it's got a lot of modes. Right now we're in normal. Let's switch into sport. So in sport, the throttle response immediately sharpens up, and especially the gearbox, it downshifts much quicker and much more eager to downshift, and it holds a rev as well. So once you accelerate, lift your feet and accelerate again, you can immediately get that power. So that's really good. It feels a lot of difference. There's a lot of difference between normal and sport. So that's pretty nice. Let's step on it.
Oh, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that V6. See, the turning is actually quite good, right? It's
quite
very
sharp.
composed.
Yeah. Wow. And it definitely has quite a bit of grunt for such a big car.
Yeah.
You definitely wouldn't be expecting it. For such a large car. Wow.
Ooh. And the thing about this engine is most of the power comes at higher end, higher rev range.
Yeah.
So in sports mode, it always tries to keep it around the 4,000 rev range mark. So that's really good. So it's always in the right power band. Let's go. Wow. And I love the downshift. If you press on the brake, the downshift actually sounds very good.
Man, this car is just, there's so much torque, when the turbos kick in.
Oh, look at that.
You just don't expect this big car to be able to drive around like this.
It's four-wheel drive too, so you can just pin it. Let's pin it.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, do you not love the sound?
That is a good sound. It
sounds good, right?
It sounds really good.
Oh, and the second pickup, it's actually quite immediate. There's not much turbo lag, so that's really good. Look at that.
Oh, man. brakes are quite good as
yeah,
well.
I love the downshift. If you try to brake it, once you step on the brake, oh, see, there's a downshift. That's really good.
Yeah.
So let's try the Baja mode, yeah? So right now we are going into Baja mode. Okay, so this is Baja mode. So this is the most intense mode that this car has. Oh, so you can hear the exhaust sound. It's even louder now, so that's really cool. So with the Baja mode, it has this anti-lag system that keeps the turbo spooling, even if your foot is off the throttle, so you get less turbo lag. Oh, and the downshift is much more aggressive as well. If you touch the throttle, oh, and then you brake, oh, whoa, the downshift is actually more aggressive than sport even. Oh, and it will keep the revs even higher than sport. It will keep the rev around, 4,000 to 5,000 ish. Oh.
Oh man, that acceleration is really crazy.
That's pretty cool, huh?
You can really tell the anti-lag system working actually.
Yeah,
because you can't really feel like any delay between the gear shifts. Yeah, wow, that's incredible.
And for such a big and heavy car like this,
Yeah.
actually handles all right.
Yeah.
I mean, not as good as our Exeges, but
But this is like double the weight, right? Wow, this is a really fun car.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, let's do a quick 0 to 100 test. So we're in Baja mode, and I'm just gonna pin it. Let's go. Ooh, so that's 100. Nice. All right, that was fun. And let's pull over and let Luan have some fun. Let's go.
Yeah, okay, so this is probably my second or third time driving a ute. And I think the Raptor definitely feels different to the Wild Track that we drove before. Because the Wild Track was pretty easy to drive as well, but I think the Raptor is actually even easier to drive when you compare it to other cars. So it feels really similar to just like a sedan or like any other kind
SUV?
of performance car. Yeah. I haven't driven many UCVs, so I can't really compare there. But yeah, it's actually really straightforward. You can't really feel the weight very much, to be honest. It hides its weight really well. And I think that's again due to the suspension, because it doesn't roll around very much.
Yeah.
But also it's due to the power of the V6 engine as well. Because you don't really have to put your foot down very much for it to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about the diesel before this, but obviously the diesel probably have a little bit more low down torque.
Yeah.
But at least for this, it feels like you can drive it around pretty easily. Like we're cruising along at 1,200 RPM, and it's perfectly happy.
Yeah.
There's no problem at all. So it just feels like a normal car, really, which is great. The fact that this is so practical, and it's got so many different features, and it's got lots of performance as well. It's a really good package. Like the whole package is really nice. Yeah, it all works together really well too.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
And nowadays with modern vehicles, with all the computers, the tunability of the engine, the different modes, there's so many facets to a car now.
Exactly.
So with this one, if you're in comfort, you drive it every day, it's totally fine. Even with my wife driving this, it's totally okay for her to daily this even.
Yeah.
But once you turn into sport or Baja, it becomes another different car basically.
Yep.
It's amazing how technology can make the character of the car so different.
Yes, exactly. It's a really do-it-all kind of utilitarian vehicle, which you can also drive quickly down on a B road as well.
Yeah, we were driving, a little bit spiritedly just now.
A little bit.
And look at the fuel economy. It's 34 liters per 100 kilometers. How good is that?
It's probably the worst fuel economy I've seen, but having said that, it's able to do it. You know, it's very able, this car.
Right.
Incredibly able.
I've been driving this for about 2 weeks, and the average consumption is around 16 to 17, which I have to say it's not low.
It's not great.
It's not great.
It's not great. But yeah, the car just does everything, because you know we're taking it on a little B road today, and it doesn't actually feel too out of place. You know, you can attack the corners a little bit. You know, obviously it's quite heavy, it's 2 tons, so it's not going to be like a Lotus, like what we have. But it's perfectly doable. You know, you can actually drive it really well through these roads, and we're not even in sport mode at the moment. We're just in normal mode.
Let me turn into sport and let you see the difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now we're in sport mode.
Nice. And I feel like the car is actually really fun to drive because it responds quite well to your controls. You know, the throttle, when you push it down, it actually changes down really quickly. You can hear that exhaust noise, you can hear that engine noise.
Oh, my scary face.
You can build up quite a lot of speed in this car quite quickly, actually. Like surprisingly quickly. Wow. It's a really interesting experience. Like I've never driven a car that's this tall, that you can actually, you know, drive on a small road like this, go around corners, accelerate really fast, brake quite quickly as well. It's a very unique experience, yeah. But yeah, what a very interesting combination for this car. Like I don't think any other manufacturers really offer anything like this, right, Frank?
No, yeah, that's one thing as well. I think Ford actually put a lot of effort into making this car, so it kind of, I think it's trying to beat all the rivals. Yeah,
it's actually really able to corner.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay, so that was a really interesting driving experience for the Ranger Raptor. I felt like I was in a really sporty car, actually. It sounded sporty, it felt sporty, it went around corners really well, and yet it's humongous.
Huge.
Look at it, yeah.
That's why it's called a Raptor.
Because it's as big as a dinosaur.
Yeah, that's
exactly. Right. So you must have a lot of fun driving this around every day, Frank?
Yeah, no, I mean, compared to the last generation, this is such a huge step up from the engine to the looks, to the interior, to technology, everything just not even one notch up. I think it's a few notches up from the last generation. Amazing. Very fortunate to be able to own this car, and thank you to John Andrew Ford as well for looking after me and also allowing us to review some of their vehicles. We have also done a Wildtrak review and also an Everest review. You can watch that on our channel as well. So back to this car, amazing, I love it. Drive it every day, and it's been very good. It's a multifaceted car, so it can be very comfortable in the normal setting, and also can be very sporty in the sport and Baja setting. So yeah, love it. How do you find it when you were driving it, Luan?
I felt like it was very comfortable, very quiet. But when you wanted to go fast, it could actually go really fast, and you could really feel like it was picking up a lot of speed. I think, you know, the reason why these are so popular is because you can have best of both worlds.
Yes.
Right? You can have the practicality, you can have a family car, and you can still have fun and you can enjoy it. You know, it makes a great noise. Actually, it sounds better than most sports cars, I reckon.
So we will hopefully be doing more contents on this. Right now, I don't have a back tray lid yet. So once I install that, we'll show you guys as well. And also the rooftop tent on that. It's going into summertime in New Zealand now. And hopefully I'll be doing a lot of camping and different road trips and adventure with this vehicle with the roof tent on as well. So please stay tuned, subscribe and like to see more content on this vehicle. So thank you for watching. See you next time.